Welcome, everyone, to our second meeting of the year, our spring meeting, which is always important because we get to talk about the fun stuff that's going to happen throughout the summer. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My commitment is that we want to always try to start at 7 o'clock promptly, and then, our goal is to definitely be done by 8:30, unless the conversation and questions are good. Sometimes that does happen, but so that'll be my commitment to you all. Again, as we've always said, we are going to conduct our meeting decent and in order. If there are any questions, raise your hand. We'll acknowledge you at the appropriate time. So again, welcome, and thank you all for taking time to come out. Okay, we're going to go right into really the two main things that came out of, well, there were several things that came out of our previous meeting, but the things that I want to really just kind of really bring your attention to is the new technology. So what you see Junior doing here and right here in the middle of the table, and then some of you all receive e-blast that talks about our board meetings. What we're trying to do is, one, cut down on a lot of you all driving to other meetings. We're trying to take advantage of this technology, and where you can, from the comfort of your home or office, wherever you might be, you can chime in into the meeting, especially our board of directors meeting, which is like a working session, and we prepare for this meeting. So this is our commitment in being transparent, and for you all to ask questions as well. So if anybody's having technology challenges about asking questions, we've had a few people that wanted to ask questions and didn't know how. Junior is our guru, and he'll be glad to answer any questions at the end of this meeting to ensure that you'll have that opportunity in the meeting. Also, and the reason why we're doing this now is we're also streaming live this meeting. So for those who can't, because they have kids and they don't want to bring kids to the meeting or for whatever reason, you can also stream from home as well. But again, I know people, me personally, like to see people live. So, but it's to each his own, but we want to just make it available to everyone. So that was the new technology. The other thing was, which was a very big topic, which was the last meeting of last year, we had a vote on our dues, and this board, when we took over, we sat down and did an assessment, and we also did a presentation too. And if you all want to see any of the notes or any from the session before, we did put it on Facebook and YouTube, so you have access to that as well. So again, full transparency, you can go back and look at it, whatever you may, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But we decided to keep the dues at $500, and it's going to just be best for us. I think it won't be any shock, because when we all moved in here, we agreed that $500 was going to be the assessment. So with that being said, we'll move on to new agenda items. Pool updates. So this is the time where, the season where the pool is going to open up on Saturday before Memorial Day. What we want to do in our efforts, and we mentioned this at the last meeting, is that this summer we're going to try to do more things with our money to reinvest back into us, okay? We constantly are fixing things. You see maintenance, you see lawn care, you see the pool getting repaired, the fountain getting repaired, but there's not a whole lot of activity for us that we've invested in. So this year, this is our commitment, and we hope that at the end of the summer or by the next meeting, which we plan to have in August, September sometime, that you'll give us some positive feedback of what you thought went well for the summer activities. So the first thing that we want to do is start off with, we're going to do like a pool party. So we want to do something during the day. So we're not talking about nothing late at night. We're talking about possibly 11 to 3 or 12 to 4. All kids, everybody, come on out. And we are going to have someone to grill, just basic stuff. So we're not doing no ribs and chicken and all of that. can't bring your cooler or nothing like that. So we're gonna keep it all G-rated, and it's all fun, and it's just a little bit just to say, you know, hello to the new season of the pool season, and hopefully the kids will have a blast in doing that. So that's one of the things that we want to do. If anyone is willing to help us, there's not going to be a whole lot of planning with it, but anybody who's willing to help volunteer, we appreciate it. We pretty much secured a DJ, and right now we have a contact for a company that will come and do the grilling for us. We're not trying to tax anybody in the community. We don't want anybody hauling a grill up there. We want people to just relax. Just come up there and enjoy yourself, relax with kids, with everybody. I mean, it's going to be adult music, slide, you can do all of that kind of stuff. So it'll be fun for all of us. That's a question.
Yeah, the question is this going to be totally funded by the association, or are homeowners going to bring a dish of choice like we had discussed last year?
It is totally funded, and the thing about having the bond for the community, I think that's a great way to get them involved. My concern is when you ask people to commit, sometimes they change their mind, and so that means that the event is lacking because someone failed on the commitment. And it could be, it might be a situation where the death in the family or an emergency came up. So I'm not just trying to say because they're slacking or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, it's just anytime you commit on a volunteer level, things can happen. So I'd rather contract and be paid, and we don't have to worry about that. But again, we're not looking at a buffet. We're talking about your simplistic cookout. Yeah, hamburgers, hot dogs, maybe some chips. I mean, we're not quite there yet, but we are talking about, you know, something simple, because again, what we got to think about is at the end of this, it's got to be cleaned up. So it's much easier to take potato chip bags, just pick them up and throw in the trash can, versus having baked beans and all of that sauce and stuff, you know, all on our.
So what are you talking about happening? You're not having baked beans and that stuff.
Just like hamburgers, hot dogs, chips. We're open to some other things, but again, I mean, that's kind of where we are. Very basic. Yes, ma'am.
I don't hear anything for vegetarians.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
We'll have veggie. Okay. Oh yes, I'm going to repeat the questions too for our online. So the question was, do we have anything for vegetarians? And yes, we will have veggie burgers, if I'm not mistaken, I think. So we will have veggie burgers. We'll even have some turkey burgers. And we have regular beef burgers and hot dogs or whatever. So we're going to try to make sure that we cater to everyone from that perspective. Yes.
If you choose to bring a dish, can you?
I don't have a problem with that, because when you bring it, you're going to share it with whoever you want to.
Share with everybody what you bring.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay. The question was, for our online viewers, is could someone bring a dish? And we are very open to that as well. Yes.
Did you give a date to it? Or?
Yes, it's Saturday.
Oh, is it going to be this?
It's Saturday when the pool opens.
28th.
The 28th.
Okay.
You mean Saturday coming?
No,
Saturday
I
28th.
mean, Saturday next week?
As in next week.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. The day the pool opens on Saturday, March 28th. May 28th, excuse me. May 28th.
You're giving it all.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So again,
You said 11 to 4. That is going to be the time?
11 to 3 or 12 to 4. We're still trying to, we got to make sure that we're going to be here, because we don't want it to be too late in the evening. I mean, because I just don't want it to blend too late in that evening time. So I like to keep it in a midday celebration. So it will. We're going to send an e-blast out by Friday with the time. Right now, I think we're going to look at 11 to 3, because that's kind of like right in the heart of the day, and that's kind of really where we want it at, 11 to 3. So put there 11 to 3.
I did.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be shooting for. Okay, so I think at last meeting, we talked about, so how are some of these activities gonna be paid for? So what we did was, we went through and did an evaluation of our pool monitors. And what we did was, we found some dead spots where there wasn't a whole lot of activity at the pool, but we had a pool monitor there. So what we decided to do is to kind of reduce the hours during those dead spots when the pool monitor is there, and then decrease their hours. It's not during peak time, so don't worry. Don't worry that you come up to the pool at 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock in the evening, that is not gonna be a pool monitor. That's not it. It's other times that we've kind of evaluated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna recoup that money, and we're gonna save that money, and that's how we're gonna be able to reinvest in our sales, if you will. So that's one of the things that we're doing for the overall pool contract, and how we're gonna do some savings. Also, what we're going to do this year, again, getting us involved, is we want to do like water aerobics. So we got a lot of folks around here that are real active, that like to do some type of exercise. We have a pool, and in the mornings, it's not a whole lot of usage there. So the board had an idea, is, why don't we do like water aerobics? So we're hoping that people would come out. 8 o'clock is maybe a little too early, the pool might be a little too cool, so we're thinking about 9 to 10. And we're gonna do this on a monthly basis. So if we can get 10 to 15 people regularly coming, that's enough to keep it going. If you got 2 to 3 people coming, then we're probably gonna have to suspend it. Because we're gonna be paying an instructor to come out. It's not expensive at all, it's $25 an hour, so pretty much $25 is one day showing. Now, if we get an influx of people, then we may have to do a 9 to 10, 10 to 11. And because the pool usually starts picking up around 11:30-ish. So that still gives us 2 hours. So we've kind of set it up in there that we can actually do 2 sessions if there's a lot of activity for people who want to participate. So I'm asking you all to come on out, participate. We're going to invest in the water aerobic weights. They're about $20 a weight. So we're gonna start off with like 20, and just to get you going, because that's part of the water race, using those water weights and stuff. And the instructor already said he can do it because we've got 3 feet on each side. So if we've got 15 to 20 people and the taller people can't get right in the middle, then we'll just push him on the other side. He's gonna be standing on top on the platform. He's got his music. And right now, currently, he's an instructor over at LA Fitness. So you're getting someone who understands water aerobics and knows how to do this. He does it, I think, 3 or 4 days a week at LA Fitness right up here, right up the road. So we are getting someone who knows what they're doing. Okay? So please come out. We're going to send out e-blasts to kind of get you going. And we're looking at doing ice cream social sometime during the summer. With more information to come on that. Just something very simple. Again, our way of reinvesting back into us. We may even look at doing a pizza party. At some point during the summer, all these things we're going to kind of spread out. Just kind of get some activity going up there at the pool, what have you. Again, nothing at night. We thought about it, and we don't know if we're ready yet to do something in the late evening. So we'll get your feedback at the end of this summer, and then we will look at hopefully whatever the new board wants to do for next year. If it's us, then we would take in consideration the feedback we get from you guys. And then we're talking about potentially doing a pool closing, which will be that Labor Day weekend, probably that Saturday, like a little closing, of the pool. Again, reinvesting in us. Any questions on that? Some pool reminders. Key cards are used to access the pool. If you do not have an access card, then you need to call Rhonda. And she'll let you know if it's because you haven't paid your dues, and that's one of the reasons why you don't have one for those who do not have one. If you haven't paid and you already have a card, then it will be deactivated, right? It's deactivated. And that's just fair to all the other homeowners who do pay their dues on time. We know that there are challenging times out here. Not to even just get off on a different tangent, but we are working with those who are trying to take care of their responsibility, and we do appreciate that. However, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that everyone who participates in the pool and access are people who have fully paid their dues, okay? Access is only for us. It's not for you to give to your friend that stays in Martha's Village, Vineyard or Henson Village up the road. It's for our community. Children must be supervised at all times. It's not the pool monitor to watch the kids. That's not their job. Anything that get out of hand up there, they've been instructed. They don't necessarily have to handle it. We've instructed them to call 911. That's their job. Yes, 911. So it's very important that when you send your teenagers, and we all were teenagers, and so I'm not going to sit here and say, all teenagers are bad. That's not the case. We have some that can't get out of hand. We have some that have clean get out of hand. But please know, kids are capable of, doing some things that are not appropriate at the pool. And so if we call the police or anything like that, please don't be upset with the board saying y'all could have talked to them or anything like that, because that's not our responsibility. Okay. Your question?
I don't know if I missed it, but did you give us the date to start water aerobics?
June 1st, I didn't give that. It will be the first Saturday in June. Thank you. The question was for our online viewers, when will we start the water aerobics? It's going to be the first Saturday in June. I don't have that date. Is it June 4th?
Is it June 4th?
Yes, that's the first Saturday in June. It'll start June 4th. And we're going to send an e-blast out. We're going to send constant e-blast because we really need you all's participation. And Facebook. Yeah, we'll put it out on Facebook as well. And that's another thing. If those who have Facebook, please remember to like us on Facebook, and then you'll be able to get all of our information. It's actually kind of fun. It's making our large community a small community. It really is. So please do that. Playground has been pressure washed. So those who have children that like to go to the playground, we just pressure washed it. And the mulch will probably be there in the next week or so. We asked them to have it done before the pool opens. So the mulch, fresh mulch will be down. These slides, everything is clean, so we're good to go. Okay?
We won't have those kids hanging around the playground?
Will we have kids hanging around the playground?
Yeah, teenagers hanging around the playground, doing things.
Well, as far as activity like that, then we need to call the police. If we see things that are not right, that area, we can't discriminate. If they're just hanging out right there and just talking, we can't say, hey, you need to be removed because you don't have any toddlers over here or children. What we just need to do is just be mindful and respectful and just keep a watchful eye and make sure that we don't see anything. When we see cars parked down there by themselves, as a homeowner, just drive up in there slowly and just kind of see. A lot of times that scares them, deters them from doing whatever. Believe it or not, it may not even be drugs that they're doing. It could just have, there could be a male or female in the car. Even though that's wrong, but still, though, sometimes when we see people down there, we automatically think it's drugs, and that may not necessarily be the case.
True. Are the cameras still working here?
The cameras are still working.
Okay. So
we do have access to the cameras, and we will, during the summer months, we will be all the way live.
Okay.
Yes. We're looking at investigating a new door on the pool side of the house. It's a little flimsy. It's been around for as long as the community's been up. A couple of guys like me could probably do some damage to it, even though we do have a lock up there. But it's just a mere fact that it'd be damaged, and we don't want that. So we're gonna look at investing in some more stable and secure doors for that. The gate on which the side that you guys go in on the pool side is fine, but then there's this, we call it the service side gate. It's a little damaged, and it's been damaged for a couple of years, and I think, you know, it's just time to fix it. I mean, just, you know, there's no need for it to be damaged like that. So we're looking at going ahead and getting that fixed as well. Okay, I want to definitely extend a huge thanks to our tennis committee, who was headed up by Charles Denard. Charles, would you stand up? You know, let's thank him, because he was very integral in negotiating our tennis contract. It's amazing because we resurfaced our tennis courts about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was involved in that process. And to me, I thought it was going to be pretty easy to go back through this process. But Charles, being that he's a tennis instructor and been playing tennis for many years, he had a very keen eye, laser eye on things that we should be looking out for. And I do appreciate his professionalism and how he handled this tennis contract as if the tennis court was in the backyard. So I want to thank you for taking the lead. We have secured Southeastern Tennis Company. They are the company that are currently managing Parker Road's tennis courts, and they will start. They're going to resurface. They haven't gotten a date yet because of all our back and forth and negotiating other companies, other subdivisions, and they were getting theirs in, so we kind of got bumped to June. So he said he'll let me know about a week or two before, and we'll send an e-blast out to let you know that the tennis court will probably be shut down for about 5 to 7 days. And then after that, we'll send another e-blast to let you know that it's reopened. What we're looking at, we're going to do something that we didn't do before, is we're going to have a monthly maintenance. Before, when we had like the nets falling and stuff like that, we had to call the guy to come out, and that company that previously did it, we're not working with them. But we just found that the court needs to have the same care, if you will, as the pool. It may not get the same activity, but again, it's a part of our curb appeal up in the front. So we need to give it the same attention as we give the pool. So we have a monthly maintenance of about $95 a month, where the guy's gonna come in every month and just make sure the straps are good on those windscreens. And he's gonna take care of that. And even if he comes out one day and then 2 days later, something happens, he will come back out. That'll be no cost to us. But again, he's gonna regularly come out there, and those clips that are potentially breaking, he wants to go ahead and replace those, make sure that the nets and the tennis nets look fine. So again, this is just part of his maintenance fee. The resurfacing cost is about $11,800. Yes, we anticipated actually about $16,000. It's roughly about 14, a couple of years, 3 or 4 years ago. So we did anticipate there's going to be a fluctuation of price. And we're having some additional things done. One of the other things that's actually additional cost is the lights. The lights that are on the tennis court, their pole is rusting and looking kind of bad. So we don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. But again, curb appeal, looking nice, staying on top of those things. That'll be about $1,500. So they're going to repaint everything black, make it look really nice. And also new scoreboards. Scoreboards will be just like the ones at Parker Road. None of this flip stuff that's antiquated, where the flip signs are falling all over the tennis court. So definitely it's going to look better and look more professionally handled Also, we talked to our lawn service, and it hasn't happened consistently, but what we've asked them to do is to come in when they are cleaning up the court, cleaning up, cutting grass, manicuring our front. We ask them to go into the tennis court and just blow. So every week, we know that they're just gonna come through and blow stuff off. We wanna keep as much debris off the court, to make it look nice. There'll probably never be a tournament over here, but it'll look like we have a tournament, and that's fine. And I think that's what Charles wanted to have, that look, that when people ride by, they'll say, man, that's a really nice tennis court. You know, so along with our really nice swimming pool. Also, too, I'm gonna throw out there to kind of put Charles on the spot. So if anyone wants to play, learn how to play tennis, you definitely should contact. He's got some great rates, and this is what he does personally, and he's really good. And I think it's something that we want to look at. It's good exercise as well too. So again, promoting healthy youth. You can reach out to me, and or you have to meet with Charles, I believe, and I can get in touch with you and pass his information on to him as well. Oh, also too, I think I mentioned at the last meeting, we removed the trees. That was if you look at our tennis court now, kind of towards the animal shelter, if you will, it's on that side, it's really black. It's because of the what's it, weeping willow tree. The sap was coming down, and so what we did was we had all those trees removed. When I talked to all three of the tennis companies that came out, that was really what they were saying, is that when you go look at tennis courts, they don't have any shrubbery or trees around their courts. It's just sunlight, windscreens, that's it. So again, we cut all the trees. We didn't cut as much shrubbery, but the shrubbery is around there. It won't get too much on the court. But again, that's every Monday when Ron Smith come out to do our lawn, they're gonna blow. So that's gonna take care of that. So you don't have to worry about that as well. Okay, any questions so far? Good. Okay. We also talked about a walking committee. Again, promoting our healthy youth. We're gonna start with a basic schedule. We'll send out e-blast to get you going. Doesn't matter if you're a fast walker or a slow walker, it doesn't matter. It's all about walking, that's it. So what we wanna do is we'll probably start off with Saturday and Sunday. It looks like we're gonna start at 7 a.m. We'll have two groups, 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And we'll be at the pool. And there's gonna be some options that we're gonna set up. Believe it or not, I don't know if anyone has ever walked our community, or I've tried to run it, and we've got some good heels. And believe it or not, if you go around our community entirely, I mean, you will do 3+ miles. I mean, people don't even realize how big our community is. So there's definitely an opportunity for us to get that heart rate up, and again, to be fit and fine for the summer. So we're gonna have that going on, and more information to come on that. Again, watch your email for the e-blasts that go out. Question, yes, sir.
In connection with the walking, I think it's appropriate to mention about dogs on leash, because that's a concern in the community for walking.
Okay, the dogs
Yes.
being on leash?
Not being on leash.
Not being on leash, okay.
Yeah.
Question for our online viewers was, as we're talking about walking throughout the community, we want to talk about the dogs that are not on leashes. Yes, I know I've personally seen there's one person that's on the backside that has a very obedient dog, but I don't know how that dog is going to react when it sees the dog that's down my street, which is like a killer Kong dog. And when they see each other, I don't know. So my thing is that the message will get out. I think, and I doesn't it address that we have? When we walk the dog, yes.
Well, and it's a Rockdale.
And it's a Rockdale County. So we've got that covered. So we will make sure that we will put that on our Facebook page. And also we'll make sure we send that on blast. If we know, here's where I've always promoted, it doesn't really matter about this thing, loyalty. I'm all about, if you don't want to know the confrontation and you know where the person lives, you don't have to go to their house. You just call Rhonda and say, hey, 1100 such and such address, they got the dog, they're walking around here with no leash on it. That's it. We'll take care of that. We'll send them out. It's not about,
and I will say that if you call Rockdale County, they do have to respond to your complaint. So if you give them the address, you're also remain anonymous.
Yeah, that's good. So you can call Rockdale County Animal Control, and they will also take care of the situation as well. Because again, this is our community, and some people from wherever they're coming from, they maybe come from a very animal-friendly environment, and I respect that. They feel like they can walk their dog because their dog is obedient to them. But that's not our community. That's not our city because of the ordinance, and that's not our subdivision. We have no problem with dogs. Just keep them on the leash and carry a bag with you. Okay? That's very important. That's very important. I don't have any problems with people even letting their dog out of the house. I have a little small dog, and we let them out all the time, but our dog doesn't leave the yard. And I'm right there. And so I don't have a problem because that's my yard. If it defecates in my yard, that's my yard. But it should not be out in no one else's yard. The circles, that for those who live in cul-de-sac, that's particularly a concern. Just because that's not on someone's house property, if you will, it's still Fountain Crest. So if you see someone who has a dog and they do their business out there and they just keep on going, just politely say, excuse me, do you have a bag? That's what I said. Do you have a bag to get that up? If they, no. I mean, if you know where they live, again, animal control or run. Because we're going to send a letter from the community saying X, Y, Z, that just kind of re-quoting what we're talking about as far as our bylaws is concerned. We've got to stop that, you guys. We've got to get that message out. And so we're going to continue with e-blast, and we'll continue to post that on our Facebook page. Okay? And all you got to do is just watch them. You'll know where they're going to their home. Like I know where the guys on my street, he's got that dog. I know, but I mean, he's always have a bag, so I'm okay with that. So that's again, we're not trying to be anti-animal. It's just that we want to make sure that everybody understands. Okay. All right. Graduation banner. We're putting the banner out in the front entrance next week. We gave everybody probably about a month to get their names in. For those who missed it, we apologize. There's nothing we can do. We did our part. So the sign will go out in front or have all the graduates on there. We also, the blast board created a generic, just congratulations. We are going to use that banner and we're going to put that on our back entrance. So now since that back entrance, which is a reflection, a lot of people go in and out, we're going to use the sign there as well. Okay, so that'll be, that should be going out in the next week or so. We had my buddy Mark here. We used to work at the county, and what we talked about several times is that we could have a left turn study done, which is coming down Highway 20, like leaving here, going down, and having a left turn study done where you just turn right into our community. Okay, can't get to our community and try to make a left turn. You can't do that. But we're talking about coming down Highway 20 South, making a left. And so Mark contacted him, and so they have 90 days to kind of do it, and they actually did the study probably about, 30 days ago? About 35, 40 days ago. Okay, so we still got more time before they respond back. Say a little bit about that.
You basically covered it. It's a 90-day study. They've done the portion of site distance, and this is actually set up to consultants to do this. So it's not the actual DOT that's going to do the study. So per their firm schedule and workload, they're working us in to get our study done. So we're about 55, 60 days into the study. They should be updated soon.
Good, thank you, Mark. Just too many accidents to me that's happening down at the next road. I can't even think of the name of it. What's it? Ralph Road. It's ridiculous. I don't even know who the engineer. I'm not an engineer, but I think that's just idiot move because it's too many folks. Ralph Road is coming out, and they are bold. I don't know if you know, they will cut in front of you. You know, so it's ridiculous. It's an idiotic move, and so what we're trying to do is, where we can just turn right into our subdivision, and we ain't got to fool with that. Because there's a hill coming from Honey Creek, and there's enough time for you to see that car peeking over that hill and make your turn. So, that's why Mark came up with the suggestion that we should have a study done, and we'll see what comes out of that. Another thing that Mark did, he contacted the county for us to get the white median around the fountains. They've been repainted and reflectors have been put on there. So I don't know if you noticed. I mean, it's probably been dirty so long, some people just kind of forget about it, but it's white now. So, so we got that taken care of, and it looks very, very nice. So just when you get a chance and you remember when you go around, just kind of look at it. Was there a question? Okay. Now, the problem that we're having is, I'm not going to necessarily blame it on trucks coming from Summit Creek, even though there could be a situation. But a lot of us, we are bringing Home Depot trucks. We're having stuff delivered, rooms to go, etc. And these trucks, UPS trucks, FedEx trucks, they're coming through our fountain. And I'm telling you, y'all, they are tearing those rocks up. So, like within the last 60 days, we've had to go back and put the rock. First of all, it's been hit so hard this last time that the rock went into the middle of the street. So the landscaper happened to come by that day, and he actually pushed it over. But right now, the sod, the rock is digging really deep into the sod because trucks just keep running over. Now, me personally, I'd like to put a big old 300-400 nails over there, so when the car goes by and blow the tire, they teach them how to teach on the road. But I can't. That's not right. So what we're going to do is we're trying to make this as inexpensive for us, because that is an expense. That's an unnecessary expense that we're continuously having to do. So what we're looking at, we're looking at some pavers, and we still will look at it, and we'll bring it to you, let you all know. But the option that the board really likes is going with bigger rocks.
Yes,
Bigger boulders. Yep, we just met with Ron Smith, and he said that he's got bigger rocks that will tear up a vehicle if it goes through. And I think that's what we need. Again, I'm not concerned about anybody. I'm not concerned about anybody's car. If you're gonna drive like that, crazy like that, Fountain Crest is not gonna be responsible for that, because we got enough road there where you can go around slowly enough to get where you're getting. So, Karen, you had a question?
No, I was just saying all in favor.
So we're looking at that, yes.
I have a concern on when you talk about, going around the fountain, and you say, mostly the trucks or whatever, you have some really horrible drivers in Fountain Crest. You have people that fly up and down the road like they're on 20, Interstate 20, and something has to be done about that. I mean, it wasn't as bad years ago because we did not have as many children, but there are a lot of children out there now, and if something's not done to slow these folks down, we're gonna have tragedy eventually.
Yeah, I agree, and that is something that we can definitely look at. I agree with you, because you can go around that curve pretty quickly, and again, I mean, not trying to hurt anybody, but this is for safety reasons. So, I mean, when I first came out here, we had sticks, big wooden sticks in the ground to keep people. They tore that up so many times, you know. So then we the last board came up with the rocks, which were a great idea. But now those rocks are not big enough. I mean, so we need to go to a bigger, bolder rocks. And it still looks aesthetically nice. I mean, it looks natural, if you will, you know, over there. So that's what we're looking at.
This is all through the development, especially on the Reflection Creek. You have a lot of kids on.
Yeah.
And those cars, I live all the way in the back. On what street on Riverton Drive. And they're coming from the bottom of the street, flying and zooming around the corner. And I'm out there doing my yard, and I'm like, what the world?
Yes.
You know, and it frightens me because I see these people living in the neighborhood. Where they got from?
Yeah.
You know, it's really bad. And I'm noticing too, and I was saying to my neighbor, you know, on the way here, that they're tearing up so many mailboxes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, are they damaging their cars? Because they're knocking poles over, down, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's sad.
For online viewers, the comment was we need to look at instituting some traffic calming islands or devices throughout the community because we have a lot of folks that are driving fast. So again, thank you for that comment. We will look into that. Reflection Creek is the one that I've heard the most about, that backside going back where you live. I mean, that's like the Audubon right there because there are no traffic calming islands there. So again, when Ryland developed this, I don't think they had any intentions to go back there. That's why I stopped. But we're glad that you guys are here.
Everybody coming through now because they can get out on the other
So
side.
we definitely, actually, that's on my agenda to talk about. Those are some of the things that we're going to look at. We'll bring back to the group to kind of talk about what can we do. I don't know if that's we got to go through the county, how that works. But I'm gonna be working with Mark, who has some experience with that, and we'll see. Because if it has to do with SPLOST money, I'm gonna tell you that's we in for a wait for that. We can't even get
a
out.
sign up there saying 25, but I don't think people pay that anymore.
They're not paying attention to that. Okay, good feedback. As I mentioned to you before at the last meeting, we were in the process of getting our POAA approved, and really what that does is that gives us the opportunity to kind of review some of the bylaws as a community, and then we could vote on to potentially amend some. So that's one of the caveats for that. And so we finally got everything signed out, and more information to come because what we're gonna have to do is vote as a community first, and then we'll take necessary steps. So this it takes about a year to kind of get the process fully vetted through, but we have already started. So more information to come on that. Next thing I want to bring up to you because I've got, I shouldn't even say mixed reviews about it. I've actually got more positive reviews, but I wanted to explain to you all, for those who saw the video, CBS 46, the sheriff had CBS 46 to come and interview me because there's new software where they want to do, I say new software, they want to put it into the communities, subdivisions, license plate readers. You got it? Okay, and so, they're already on the police cars. So again, so if you just listen to this real quick clip, and we'll just have a brief discussion and we're gonna move on, okay?
Welcome to Toyota Time. Tons of awesome vehicles. Great deals for everyone. Thanks. Low APR financing. Here's your balloon. I have the best team. Oh, here I come.
Toyota, let's go places.
New at 11, a Metro Atlanta sheriff making a push to use technology to keep communities safe. He wants to put license plate readers at subdivisions across Rockdale
And they
County.
did mess
But
up
tonight,
last night,
CBS
too.
46 wants to know, would homeowners like you have to foot the bill? The 19th Julian Johnson gets answers tonight. It's another one only on CBS 46.
So the idea here is to place these plate readers inside the different subdivisions, basically catching every single car as it comes and goes. Now, this community already has a camera system in place, but the plate reader system has a cost that could reach into the high thousands of dollars. But are different communities willing to pay for that?
When these people buy these homes over here, they are concerned about safety.
Arthur Avery is president of the Homeowners Association for the Fountain Crest community in Rockdale County.
They try to go into these subdivisions and ditch the cars, which we have a swimming pool right up front, and that's where a lot of them leave.
He says his neighborhood is by no means a hotbed for crime, but it does have an incident here and there.
Actually, someone stole a car, and they actually, believe it or not, they pulled up right here and jumped out of the car, 2 teenagers.
I'm all for looking for any innovative software that we can use.
And that's where an idea from the county's top law enforcer comes in. Sheriff Eric Levitt believes putting plate readers inside subdivisions creates yet another obstacle for bad guys. We've seen the explosion of those readers both on police cars, but in other areas like Norcross, readers are placed throughout the city.
Hopefully that we can get the HOAs and the business districts to invest in this.
And yes, there is a cost to this. The sheriff says initially to install the cameras and software would run about $30,000 plus any additional upkeep, a price homeowners in the communities would pay for. But Avery believes that price is worth his community's safety.
I haven't had any challenges in the past implementing any type of procedure or tools that will help minimize crime.
Julian Johnson, CBS 46 News 19.
Before anything can be put in place, we've learned the next step will be the sheriff's office taking proposals to various homeowners associations. Of course, we'll keep you updated.
Okay, so one of the comments that I got was, hey, we've got to pay for this. This is something that is, it's innovative, it's new, I've been that I've never had a problem, because anything that we needed to do that's going to minimize any kind of crime or anything to make our home safe, then you all have been 100% supportive. And even though this may even come with a price tag, we don't even know what the cost is. I mean, this is the news. They're saying up to the tens of thousands. We don't know. We do not know. But you can rest assured that when we do decide to move on this, we'll have a full-fledged presentation done by the sheriff and et cetera before we even do something like this. It's not that we're trying to be the first in the county to do this. All I want to do is just make sure that we are safe and that we can minimize crime. As you know, that right there in the front is a hotbed for people doing all kinds of stupid stuff like throwing food out. I just pulled over the other day and picked up Taco Bell stuff. I mean, it's just like someone's just throwing out all kinds of stuff. So we're going to see if this system can work for us whenever it comes out. It could be 2-3 years from now. But whatever the case is, it's not going to just be great for the sheriff's office. It's going to be great for us too. So it's going to be a win-win situation. So I wanted you all to see that, because I got some, someone that's in our community and say, oh, I don't think we should be trying to pay for this, but you got to look at the whole story, the big picture. Stacey.
I know it's important to have a good relationship with the police department and the sheriff's department and everything. So have we ever participated in the National Night Out, where it's a program where, the police come in and the community, we thank them, we appreciate them for all the work that they do? I mean, I understand that's a way also, but just to continue to build the relationship with the department. National Night Out is every year, it's national, and this year's August 2nd. We might police in, barbecue or have hot dogs and thanking them. And I mean, that's just a way for them to, build a rapport for them to continue to come out. So we might want to, this won't cost $30.
Right.
Like, a couple $100 to thank them and have community.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea, Stacey.
Like this quarter or something in our community.
Yep. I think that's an excellent idea, and whatever we can do to always improve upon our relations, with the sheriff's department, I think they'll appreciate that, and definitely we will. I mean, we've never had a problem. I mean, this even goes back, prior to Sheriff Levitt. We've always established a relationship with the sheriff's department. This is important to us. So whoever holds that seat, no matter what, we're gonna always continue the lines of communication in our relationship. So Stacey, I think that's a great idea. I've written it down. And, you know, I would like for us, and if you could help, maybe we kind of coordinate a little small committee and see how we can make this national night work out. I think that's great. I think that's great. Yes. Oh, yes, let me repeat the question for our online viewers. We had a homeowner that recommended that we get involved with the National Night Out, which happens to be August 2nd this year. And so we're going to definitely look at participating. Thank you, Stacey. So just kind of reiterate our technology, found Crest HOA on Facebook, just like it, and you'll be linked in. Again, that is the way we make our big community small. That's it. We're here in 339, I don't know why I want to say 339 homes, and that's just it. We're big, but we can make it small by communicating and doing these types of things. So please do that. We've got lots of feedback, positive feedback on Facebook. So far, 91 likes on Facebook, which is about 20% of the homeowners. We can do more, we can do better. And also, we live streaming our meetings. I mentioned that earlier, that we're live streaming now. We live stream our board of directors meeting. So we don't have to be at anyone's house. We don't have to pay to go any other facility. We do it from the comfort of our home. And so that's technology. Anybody who needs help, you know, we are willing to help. Yvonne, we got Yvonne doing that, and I think at first of all, I was like, what? But she is a pro at it. So we can do anything that we want to do, no matter our age or whatever, we can learn, and it's good. It's always good to be healthy to learn.
My name's Kevin Lee. I live on the backside of Clarkson Creek.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed a couple of months back, the temporary gate was set between Common Crest, and I don't know if that's been addressed.
We didn't, I think we just addressed it through Facebook, but let me tell you what happened. The contractor manager or whatever, was pretty new. He wanted to minimize traffic through there while he built their homes. But that's a public road, so I called the county, Rhonda called the county. We got code enforcement involved. They came over there that day, and that gate was open that evening. Am I right, Stacey? I think Stacey called me that day. It was the next day? It was that day. So, yeah. So that back way is it's convenient for us. So, but it's a public road. It's not Sunny Creek. It doesn't belong to them. Just like Reflection and Fall River, that doesn't belong to us. It's just that that's where our house happens to be on that street. So, but yes, we won't have that problem any longer. Yeah.
On the other side, if you could just mention that the builder over there is just concerned because people were speeding through there, and it's important when there's workers and stuff to slow down. Yeah, so from a cautionary standpoint, the reason again that they put that in there is because he said that people were coming through there flying and stuff, and some could be us, some could be visitors. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was Found Crest. It could just be visitors, but whatever the case is, they were coming from our direction. So that was his way of trying to mitigate that. But again, it's a public road. You have to be careful. If you get a flat tire or whatever going through there, that's your vehicle. Okay? And I have 4 or 5 nails straight up through there. But again, that's my vehicle because I choose to go through there. So. All right. And also our meetings are available on YouTube. So again, this meeting tonight will be available tomorrow. Right away? Okay. Right away on YouTube. So if you want to go back and recap or sit with someone, you can. Okay. Okay, just some housekeeping. This is the springtime. This is probably the most busiest time where Rhonda's going to be sending out a lot of letters on what we want her to send it out for. So please don't be angry with her
be angry with yourself, because if you get a letter, there's something that happened. Now, we are human, and so if you get a letter and you say, hey, my grass is cut, you know, and it's been cut for, you know, those things can happen, we can get past that. But if your lawn hasn't been cut in over a month, please know you're gonna get a letter. Because it may not even be from Rhonda, it could just be your neighbors. Because that's what I'm encouraging. You know, I say on one hand, I want us to have better relations, but on the other hand, I'm saying, you know, if your neighbor's not doing what they need to do and you don't want a confrontation type situation, call Rhonda. I mean, that's what the situation is. I mean, you want to be able to go to your neighbor and say, hey, you know, your grass is just, I mean, it's just looking bad, you know, your bush is looking bad, or et cetera, and you hope that they receive it, but it doesn't always happen that way. But as a community, we're not gonna tolerate that. So we, as a board, have decided that that's gonna be at the highest level. And various board members say we're gonna ride through as well and just ensure that these things are taken care of. With 339 homes, we're gonna look good, we're gonna stay good. And this community's been up 13, 14 years. And you know, if you go to some of these communities, not just here in Rockdale, but Lithonia, Decatur, or whatever, homes that's been up 13, 14 years, they don't look the same. So we're gonna keep ours the same. All right? So this is what you're hearing from the board. If you got a question about something, or you're concerned, or something you want to dispute, it's fine. Bring it up to Rhonda, or get to the board if we need to go and look at it. But again, please be respectful of the bylaws. Please don't sit around and say, I pay a mortgage and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. That's not what you were told when you first came in. Yes, this is your mortgage, but you signed up, you're gonna be a part of a homeowners association. And that should have been a deciding factor for you when you moved over here. Yes.
And I got a letter saying I can. But I see flowers around mailboxes. And I mentioned it to a couple of people, and they say, yeah, well, they were grandfathered in. How you gonna be grandfathered in if your house wasn't there?
Yeah, so Sheila, let me address that. I'm
It's not like flowers around my mailbox.
Understood. I was part of the ARC, which reviews, changes to the outside of the home. When I initially came in, flowers around the mailbox was not allowed. It seems like there was a lot of mailboxes that had flowers on the mailbox, so we tried to clean up. We sent letters, tried to make everybody clean it up, but it was an almost impossible task. So what we did was we said we're going to allow flowers up on the mailbox. We came up with a guideline and said it needs to be, we need to check this, it needs to be, a reasonable size around the mailbox, and we now allow it. As long as it's up, it's kept in also winter. If it's not kept, you will be getting a letter. So we do allow it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you if you could allow flowers around the
We do.
I didn't get that memo.
Yes, again, just Rhonda reminded me, any changes to the outside, you have to put an ARC request. So yes, you will be allowed to, as long as you put a request in.
I gotta put a request in?
Yes, because it is an external change to the actual outside property. Yes. We want to make sure that, if you're actually going to put something in, it actually still looks presentable.
How long does it take for it to be approved between the time that you put the request in? What's the time?
Yeah, so depending on when you requested, if you request on Friday, chances are we might see on Saturday. We meet on Saturday mornings between 9 and 12. If you put it on Monday, you have to wait till the Saturday. If, say, for example, there's multiple requests comes in, we'll club it together on one particular weekend. So you might wait 2 weeks. Oh, the mic's gone?
Yes. I'm putting my request in there, so you can get me Saturday.
Yeah, so, we technically have 30 days to actually.
It's not close.
Oh, we have 30 days to actually action.
No, it's still not working.
Yeah, we have 30 days to actually action it, but we normally get to you within, a week or two.
Okay. So Jim, I go ahead and bugs and send out the request, and by the time you start to come out, my bugs start rising. Because to me, that's great.
I am
by
not.
the time you get to it, it'll be winter time.
So to be fair, we're you're not allowed to modify the external of the plan without the approval. So that's my answer.
Okay, we lost our mic feed for right now, so I'm gonna try to speak as loud as I possibly can. Again, just to reiterate, these are the bylaws. No one person is bigger than the bylaws. It is what it is. Put the request in, and we're gonna go ahead and follow through. We're gonna follow through with the request. Just like Junior said, we're meeting weekly now. And let me just tell you that the board is doing double duty because our ARC from previous went defunct. So we're doing this. We're operating, doing double duty. So please be patient. No, you can't say, oh, I'm looking at my mailbox and I want to plant flowers today. And then you go to Lowe's and you go try to plant flowers. It does not work like that. So I am telling you this today. Put in the request, wait the time out, and we'll get with you on that Saturday. Then go to Lowe's, pick your flowers out, and then plant. Okay? Decent and in order. Be respectful of the process.
I just have one other question on that. Would that be something that we would have to submit every year? Or once we submit it, it's good for flowers around the mailbox?
No, once you've already set it up in there, because you're good at that point. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have concern about the islands.
Yes, ma'am.
Some were nice with greenery, and others, like the ones around the Riverton Drive, it's all dried out. So how are we going to replenish the greenery?
We're gonna have to just do it because when we met with Ron Smith on Tuesday, because there's no irrigation system in there, sometimes they dry out and die, and we just have to replace them. That's it. I mean, there's no answer to that. There's no answer to that. So we would just, if you see that our island is bad back there, let Rhonda know, and then what we just do is have to have Ron Smith to come out and plant.
Do I have to make her know about it after this meeting?
No, I mean,
Drive?
no, we'll just, Riverton, you said Riverton?
Riverton Drive.
Is it one back there? The island is missed. They just had Ron Smith plant it. Junipers are probably dying.
It seems to me as if it has been forgotten.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you for that. Yes, we need to make sure that Ron Smith goes by, after they cut the grass, they should be going by every island. At the end, I know that on my street on Winter, I see them just ride around. Sometimes they spray weed kill in there. So we will go back and make Ron Smith aware of that. Thank you for that. I saw two hands. I'm sorry. Can I go with her first? Ladies first? Yes, ma'am.
And also on Montauk Point,
Montauk.
for the whole 3 years that I've been out there, there's nothing in the island. They just put some straw in there maybe about a couple months ago.
Yeah, now Montauk that's considered what we consider our mid to large island. And so there's no greenery in there. There's only gonna be pine straw. So like if you come on Wintering, my street, we got a big cul-de-sac and all we got is 4 trees but those trees were planted by Ryland and all we got is straw. There's no greenery in there. And I think there's another couple of big islands like that cul-de-sac where we don't, because it'll be too costly because again, there's no irrigation in there. So we're not guaranteed that those junipers are going to live. You don't want us to invest in money that we have to throw away like that. So that's not money that we really want to do. The smaller islands, what we were trying to do is put junipers in there so we can cut back on the straw. That's what we're trying to do, so they'll grow and then we'll reduce the amount of straw that we put. But thank you for that. But Montauk, we'll just make sure that it should be all, so again, let me tell you what we'll do. When they get ready in the fall to put pine straw, we're gonna send an e-blast to everybody. So what I'm asking you to help us is if you don't see them within 14 days of us sending that e-blast saying that pine straw is being delivered, if you don't see it in your area, you let Rhonda know. Okay? So
It normally takes us several days.
Yes, it does. That's why I said, that's why I said 14 days. That's 2 weeks. He usually gets it done in 2 weeks. Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, quick question.
Yes.
I've been out here 13 years.
sent Ron an email about cars parking on our street.
Okay,
St. Marlo.
on St. Marlo?
For the last 13 years, and the last 7 years, the same problem from the same house. I have an 8-year-old now. He can't ride his bike because their cars continue to park on the street. If you try to turn into St. Marlo, the trash trucks can't even get around your cars.
Okay,
So
we can,
this is, I haven't been one of these for years, but it's a problem.
yeah. Now, let me tell you the catch with this. Here's the catch that's gonna be a problem. If I'm not mistaken, I'm correct. I think the bylaw said no overnight parking on the street. That's overnight. During the day, it's free will.
I don't have a problem with anybody having company. They park 24 hours a day.
Okay, so we need to talk about the level of them or the how often that they are parking on the street.
Right, they have a broke down car at the end of the driveway.
Okay, so that needs to be addressed
over
too.
a year and a half.
Okay, yeah, okay, so,
Excuse me, there's also a car that is parked right up in front of Bracknell Court and Fountain Crest Drive. It's been there for months, overnight.
Bracknell Court and
Fountain Crest Drive, it's actually Fountain Crest Drive. There's always a car parked there.
Found Crest Drive, what, did you say Bracknell?
Bracknell, yeah. It's not on Bracknell, it's on Fountain Crest Drive, when it's right up there by the intersection. It's always there.
Okay. Okay, we're looking at, because if you all don't know, that cars that are not working, need to be in the driveway. You put them in your garage, but not in the driveway. And no weekend mechanics in the driveway either, trying to fix some cars too. So, but yes, I think you got a great point. We will address it. I appreciate that. And we will send it. Now, I want to say this. My promise to you is that we're going to send a letter. The result of it, I don't know. I don't even know what we can even do from a legal standpoint. I mean, when I say legal, I mean from a law, like if we had one of the sheriff's representatives tell us maybe we'll look into it or something like that. But I promise you that the letter is going to go out. Okay, that I will promise you. Any other questions? Okay, let me go through these pretty quickly because we have 2 guests. We want to clean the mailbox. You know, this is the time where we're going to start looking at mailboxes. I'm not asking no one to go purchase a new mailbox. What I'm asking you to do is to clean it and then buy some black Rust-Oleum, paint over it, make it look really good. What's it called? Flat black. Flat black is the color. And you paint over that, and then make sure that your toppers look good, the gold numbers. If you don't have any numbers, you need to go out and get the numbers. Now, what is that? Address of distinction. We'll send it out. We'll send an e-blast out, okay? For those who need mailbox address. Also, too, for those people who have mailboxes or maybe neighbors that have mailboxes that are constantly being hit, here's a recommendation. Why don't you tell them to take the mailbox as far back as they can. Now, those who are on a sidewalk, that's a little tough because they've got the sidewalk there, the walkway. But still, though, you can take that mailbox back a little bit, as far as you can, you know, the mailbox itself. Because right now, if you look at it, it sits out a little bit. It's about that much space between the back of the box and the pole. So you can take that and move that back. Try to have that move back. That will save a little bit. Also, too, in the ground, take it, for those who are not on a sidewalk, just take it back a couple of, you know, I won't say a couple of inches, okay? And maybe that will help, you know, help with the mailboxes. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you, you know, because it's unfortunate, and I know there's some people who regularly get hit. And if you can catch that person who hit you, then, you know, that's when you take care of it. But, you know, when you wake up the next morning and it's gone, it's unfortunate. So, yes, sir, Mr. Lee.
I was going to say, I know some people on 20, but they take the mailbox to the side. And so it doesn't stick out. fireworks, and the mail carrier.
Still does it? I'm a,
It takes up a lot of space.
it does, but I think our mailbox need to be uniform. And that means that all of it's sticking out this way, whatever that way is. Yeah, I think we need to stick with that, Mr. Lee. I think the best thing to do is just to take that mailbox back and try it. There's a house on Reflection Creek that's all the way up towards the, as you're getting ready to go out to Summit Creek before you get to the curb. And I think their mailbox is sitting on the ground. I'm surprised the postmaster hadn't said anything, but we as a community are gonna need to address that because it does not look good. So we need to take care of that. So if y'all live near that person, just make that suggestion, that recommendation. Again, just a reminder what Junior mentioned earlier, all AR receive requests, you need to go in and for any type of external change to your house, any external change to your house. Please be respectful to the bylaws. Please be respectful to the board. Please be respectful to the ARC committee. Please don't say, I see somebody else as I'm gonna go ahead and do it just like them. Don't do that. You're in the HOA. Unfortunately, this is the process. So that's what we need, okay?
You need to add yard to that too.
Ma'am?
You need to add yard instead of just house.
To the yard, okay, yeah, well, that's what I meant, but yeah, so let me be more specific. To the yard, if you're making any changes to the yard and or to the house, please send an ARC request, okay?
Except for the mailbox, you can move that without a request.
Yeah, because you're not changing anything, you're just moving position. Not necessary, no, just moving the position is fine. I'm talking about when you change it, when you go and get another mailbox, which that won't get denied, but if you go get another mailbox that doesn't look like ours, I mean, that's grounds for denial. You still would send in the ARC request to say, can I change my mailbox, but you know, it's not gonna happen. Because we're gonna be uniformly,
So if you're switching something with the same thing.
yeah, like if you're painting your house and it's the same exact color, I mean, that's okay. But when you're changing the color slightly from what the original builder did, that's an ARC request. Okay? Okay. All right, community upkeep, we talked about this earlier. We need to pick up after our dogs. I'm not gonna go into that. Pick up the trash cans. Trash for most of us who use Robinson comes on Tuesday. There are two or three more services in our community that do, I know a Tuesday, but I think there's one that does a a Wednesday, and I think there's one that do a Thursday. Is it Friday? Okay, Friday. Wednesday and Friday. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this is gonna be the troubling part at times, because there are neighbors who call, run there and say they need to pick up their trash. They need to get it out of the yard, but they may be one of those Wednesday or Friday. So we gotta figure that out, okay? And kind of go from there. Robinson usually have Robinson on the front of the trash can. The other vendors, I don't know. So that's what we need to try to work through, okay? So please don't get offended if you get that. It's just because we probably don't know who the vendor is that you're using. But that's an easy fix. Volunteers. We are continuously needing help for volunteers for any of our committees. As you see, our committees listed: ARC, Beautification, Hospitality, Welcome Committee, Walk-in Committee, Neighborhood Watch. Although that we don't have any, I think our community is still working fine. But these committees do exist, and we want to keep them going. Okay. We have a sign-up sheet up here for those who want to sign up for one of the committees. I want to publicly thank Tony Berry. Tony kind of has taken on the beautification, if you will. He's not sharing it, but he has kind of taken it on to help us out. So you're probably getting emails and texts from him letting him know we're doing this every other Saturday, right?
Yes.
And so we had it this Saturday
Yes.
at 9 o'clock. You start from where you are, where you live, and you make your way up to the pool. And then we convene there for a few minutes, and then we all just disperse and go back home. We appreciate your help. I hope everybody's willing to roll up their sleeve and, people are purchasing a little trash pickup thing, if you will, little thingy where you can kind of pick up. We have a few shirts. Al, his daughter printed off some nice shirts that have Fountain Crest on there for those who want. I do have a few more. If we have an abundance of requests, then I'll have to see if we can go back through him to get some more. But it's just kind of a way for us to kind of stay unified in the process of cleaning up. And also, it's kind of fun, and you meet people that you may not know, again, making our large community small.
And it's every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. So if you, 9 a.m., we start at 9. 9 a.m. And so just mark your calendar every 2 weeks, pretty much. That's what I have.
We didn't go, we should have walked this past Saturday, but I knew the holiday was coming up. I tried to offset it so that we didn't have it on the holiday weekend. That's why we have it last Saturday. But we also want to say, if you feel like you want to do it sometime during the week, because Saturday morning at 9 would be a bad time, just ask a neighbor to walk with you and going out or call me or send you a note. I'm around, I'll tag along.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. We talked about the welcome committee, the walking committee, but we do have, is a Mr. Oglesby here? Mr. Oglesby. We want to, if all of us could give Mr. Oglesby a Fountain Crest welcome. He is our latest new homeowner here. So if you would take this. Could you come on, Mr. Oglesby? Just while he's coming up, just to tell you, this year, what we've done is we tried to continue our process where we give a plant and we go to Rockdale County and we get all the pamphlets, welcome pamphlets, anything that's happening in Rockdale, we give that to you because we don't know if you're coming from across the state, across the nation, or wherever. We want you to know that you live in a great city and that's all the things that are happening in our city. And we want you to feel welcome to Rockdale and we want you to feel welcome to Fountain. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. And we did that for
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yvonne Lee, and we had some move-ins from October of 2015 to actually tonight. We had 5 that were delivered in March. And those families were the Hart family on Fountain Crest Drive, the Brown family on Fountain Crest Drive, the Martin family on Reflection Creek, Shropshire family on Enfield Court, and the Hudson family on Torbay Drive. If anyone is here, stand. Those families.
Again, another way of just making our large community small. Okay, future projects. We just real quickly we talked about the traffic calming, Sheila. So this was on our agenda. We're gonna look at this. We just need to find out the process. If it's going through our SPLOS, we're just gonna have to pray through that because right now they've got projects up here. That's why the front of our subdivision did not get paid. It's just no more money in the SPLOS for them to do that project because the streets are so old, they say it, and those are the original streets. He said that they were gonna probably have to tear some of those streets up.
The damage.
Yeah, so, and I understood that process, being the work in the county, so I understand the process. It's no fault of theirs or anything, so they did what they did, and we appreciate what they've done thus far. So what we gotta do is try to figure out how we can get our project on their agenda the next year or so, okay?
Yeah, but you know something else about Reflection Creek? I mean, I speak a lot about Reflection Creek because I have to travel that way in order to go home. So one of the other things with Reflection Creek, with those cars parking on the street, they're so close sometimes that you have to go around the opposite side. Yeah, the opposite side of the island to get around. And on, Brisbane has a hill. And when you have cars parked here and you have to go around that vehicle, that could really be tragic. Because if somebody's coming in this direction and it's right at that hill, they're not gonna see you and you're not gonna see them. So parking on the street is really, really a problem.
Yeah, we just need to, let me repeat this for all our viewers. One of our homeowners had concerns about people parking on the streets, being able to get around. So what we need to do is just try to figure out, is there anything that we can do? I mean, I just don't know, law enforcement wise or what have you. But, and the only other thing that we can do, I mean, we don't want anybody, first of all, I don't want the message to get out there that the homeowners, the board of directors are trying to, you know, create this environment where we don't want them to have any visitors or they can't park. That is not even the message. That's not the message. I don't want anything, but what I do want them to do is be able to be respectful and mindful of our neighbors. If you know that you've got several cars that are parking on the street every day, I mean, come on, you know. So we've just got to figure out and find a delicate way to deal with that.
Yeah, because at first I thought, well, you know, maybe they have death in the family, right? And people's gonna park all up and down the street. But you can't have death and parties and all this stuff going on all the time.
I agree.
But I think that, somebody in the committee should travel around that neighborhood sometimes and see what's going on and see what can be done to address it.
Good point.
Okay, hello, I'm Rhonda Beasley with Care. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
If you can find anybody for a hose in front of the house, $50. Why can't you find somebody who's parking the vehicle all the time?
We can find them for parking on the street. It would have to be like a monthly thing, because if I go out one month and they are parked there and they've already gotten a notice, I can send them a fine notice. But then the next month when I come, if they're not parked on the street, then it's not a continual, like they've already resolved in my mind the issue because they're not parked there. So I only come out once a month. So it's difficult to monitor. The streets are public streets. So they do fall under law enforcement. If a car, and I deal with this on other properties too, if a car is parked on the street and they're impeding traffic for whatever reason, like you said, if two are parked on each side of the street and they're affecting the pass through of all the cars, you can call the police. And the police will come out because it is a public road. It is considered public. So it's just like if they were parked out on Georgia 20 and they have to respond to your call that they're parking and they're impeding traffic. So we can send them notices according to the bylaws. We can fine them if on the second notice, if I go back out and they're still parking on the street, of course, we can send them the notice of fine that they're now being fined the initial $50. But, you know, like I said, it's very hard to monitor. But we will continue to communicate to the homeowners. I'm up here to give the financial update, and the things that I put out on the tables is basically what we have as through the end of April 2016. So the numbers at the top of the report are the numbers as of the end of April, and the reports behind that back up those numbers. Also, the last page that I put on here is a copy of some of the basic pool rules and tennis court rules. Since the pool is going to be opening, we will send this out in an e-blast as well. The hours are still 9 to 9. He was talking about the card access. If you don't have a card, please call me. I'll get you a card. If you're, for instance, the new move-ins, we don't automatically send the new move-ins a card. And that is because the cards are very expensive. And if a new move-in moves in and they're not interested in the pool or the tennis, we just spent money to send a card for somebody that's not interested in the amenity. So if you don't have a card, you need a card, and you're up to date on your dues, then of course we'll send you a card. If you've lost a card and you no longer have a card and you need a replacement card, it's $50. So just so you know that. Secondly, I did want to talk about the login information for the Heritage website that is also linked to your website. I have a few of these sheets up here that have login instructions. So if you're interested in that, please come up. I brought about 10 copies. If we don't have your email and you're not getting the broadcast emails, this is a good way to get your email in the system and for us to get your the broadcast out to you. And also you have access to a lot of other information, your account and things like that. You can also pay online, but there is a fee for paying online. So at this point, it is late. If you haven't paid your dues, it's just as soon you mail it to the office, and that way you avoid having to pay the online fee. With reference to the mailbox, I'll send an email blast out giving you the addresses of distinction, phone number. They are well aware of Fountain Crest and the supplies that we use for mailboxes and mailbox posts, and those numbers on the topper, you can only get from them. You can't get them from Lowe's or Home Depot. And they will send you the glue that you need to pop them off and put them back on. And if you're gonna replace the numbers, replace both sides. Because I found where people replace one side and the other side still looks black and not so good. As far as the ARC details, if you need an ARC request form, I can email you that, or any other details regarding the ARC. Is there any other questions? Oh, I'm sorry. On the bottom of the sheet, I did want to go over, as of the end of April, out of the 339 homes, we have 75 total delinquent. So that makes a 22% delinquency rate. But out of those 75, 40 of them are for 2016. So 40 of those probably most likely will come in, we're hoping, before the middle of June, because around the middle of June, if they haven't paid, then they will be sent to legal for collections. So, so with that being said, 35 out of the 75 are with legal right now, and we're working on those too. A lot of people have been on payment plans and they have met their obligations and gotten out of legal, so it's been a good thing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're running up towards the end. We've got two guests that are gonna come up here and just address you real quickly. But before I do that, I just want to let you know, if again, the efforts to make our large community small, if there are neighbors or people in the community that you know that experienced death or something, please let us know. And we'd like to, acknowledge and send them a card. I do want to let you know that one of the neighbors on Fountain Crest Drive, the Brooks family, Jeanette and Joseph, they experienced a loss in their family. So please keep them in your prayers. We did have another neighbor on Reflection Creek, and they had a lot of cars parked there because their father was ill, and so they reached out to Rhonda and sent a card to him. A lot of people didn't know why there was a bunch of cars there, and I was one of them. I was like, wow, all these cars there, but the people were busy because they were really sick and then eventually passed away. So we like to do stuff like that. I mean, again, that's the best we can do to making this large community small and staying connected with one another. Okay, well, without further ado, I'd like to bring in our clerk of courts, who's been around for several years, has done an outstanding job. She came to our last meeting, but she's coming back to be able to just kind of talk to you about some of the things that's going on and about her campaign and why it's so important to vote. That's very important. Reverend Jesse Jackson say, voteless people is a hopeless people. So please keep your voice down. Without further ado, Ruth Wilson.
Good evening, Fountain Crest. How are you this evening? It's a beautiful day in Rockdale County, isn't it? All right. I'm going to be very brief because I know it is late, but I want you to know how important it is that you vote Ruth for Rockdale Clerk of Superior Court for another 4 years. How many of you have already voted? Raise your hand. Oh, wow. You have another opportunity to vote until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. at 1400 Parker Road. That's the easy way to do it. I encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity. It has been my honor, privilege, and pleasure to serve you as clerk since 2009. I want you to know that since I've been in office, I have modernized the office and made the courts easier to do business with. Now you can go online and request a new date for your jury service. You can pay a traffic citation online without leaving the comfort and convenience of your own home. We have implemented a family law information center where you can come and get a free 30-minute consultation with a licensed attorney for free. We do that every Friday morning, and this is our way of helping you be prepared to go to court. There are a lot of other innovations I could tell you about. I hope that you will take time to read this card. By the way, that's my husband, my best friend, my boo rabbit right there, walking around with the goodie basket. Please grab a handful of baby roots, a notepad, and definitely take a look at my card here. I'm going to ask that you vote Ruth for Rockdale Clerk of Courts, and I'll be available after the meeting to answer any and all questions that you might have. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
And finally, our last guest, certainly definitely not least, but probably one of the most talked about positions in the county, chairman for Rockdale County. And we have who's running for chairman, who's currently our commissioner for Rockdale County, Mr. Oz Nesbitt.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Again, like Ruth, I certainly will not be long. I'm Oz Nesbitt, currently one of your commissioners here in Rockdale, and we certainly do appreciate you all allowing us to come out this evening and speak to you for a moment. Just want to give you three basic things about my platform and reason why I think you need to vote Oz Nesbitt as your next chairman here in Rockdale County. The card that Mr. Gauthier is passing out will give you a little bit more in-depth information about who I am if you've not already had an opportunity to meet and greet with me in the past. I've been to your neighborhood. I heard some of the comments earlier during your meeting. And yes, you have a lot of residents. You said 339. I feel like I've been to each and every one of your doors back in 2012. It's a long way in, and it's the same distance on the way out. But let me just talk about moving Rockdale County forward. There are several things that's listed on the card, but nothing is as important. Nothing is as important as public safety. You need a chairman who's going to work with the local sheriff. You need a chairman who's going to build a relationship and build a rapport with the local sheriff to make sure that Rockdale County is a safe community for every single citizen that resides in this community. So public safety is at the top of my list. Code enforcement, quality of life, making sure that each and every person, each and every resident, every homeowner, every taxpayer, every business owner in this community has an equal opportunity and a voice to make sure that their voice is heard throughout this county. You need a chairman's office that's going to be responsive and not just simply reactive. You need a chairman that you can put your hands on, that's going to be tangible, that's going to be accessible. And of the 8 years I've served as your commissioner, I think of several things that I'm proud of, but one of the things I'm most proud of is being accessible, being able to reach Oz Nesbitt. At the end of my tenure, I want to make sure that no one's able to say that I couldn't get a hold of Oz. You've been able to get a hold of me. I'm all over social media. I'm in your churches. I'm in your child's school, your grandchild's school. I'm in your neighborhood. In fact, this Friday, we're having, whether it rains or not, we're having our second annual community fish fry. We have over 300 pounds of fish that you're invited to come out to the pavilion in Old Town. Don't cook that evening. Bring the children, the grandchildren, and come out to the pavilion in Old Town, the pavilion where they have the ice skate rink during the winter months. Starts at 6 p.m. 300 pounds of fish, hush puppies, fries, and the best lemonade this side of the Mississippi River. So we ask you that you come on out. Certainly, if you have any questions about moving this county forward where it relates to public safety and the relationship with the chairman's office, code enforcement, a lot of the things that your HOA president, Mr. Reese, let me just say this too. You are fortunate to have someone who has been an intimate part of local government who knows and understands ordinances, who understands equal and fair play. He also understands the power of having rules. I heard him talking about the enforcement of the rules and the bylaws and the covenant for your HOA association. It's a beautiful thing. What applies to one person should apply equally to the next person, and you cannot waver because you have to set a standard. And hats off to the folks at Fountain Crest for setting a standard, but you are really in a great position to have someone like Arthur Reese. Again, if you want to reach Oz Nesbitt, there's information on the card on how you can reach me. You can also go to friendsofoznesbitt.com. If you're on Facebook, you can simply put in Oz Nesbitt. I have 5 Facebook pages that are on Facebook and social media. We're also there on Instagram, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn. We're looking to move Rockdale County in the direction that it needs to go for every single resident. It's time out for us being a monument. It's certainly time for us to become a movement and be heard in our community in terms of getting people back to work, safe community, and creating parks and rec for our entire community so all of us can enjoy. Again, thank you for your time. If there's any questions, I'm going to stick around for a moment or two and be glad to entertain any questions or concerns that you may have. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Ruth and Oz. I really appreciate that. I just want to let you all know that this year is a unique year. This is election year. But I do want you all to know that even when I was past president, before I had folks from the county to come up and speak, it's important that we understand what's happening in our government. So again, as this year progresses, we will have more people coming to talk about things that are in the county that's going to be helpful to us. Maybe we can have a director that's on code enforcement come. So some of these questions that you have about dogs and cars being parked and those kind of things, those are questions where we might as well have a subject matter expert here to help answer those questions. So I am having these people here, not necessarily here, where it's twofold. Yes, to kind of get you in front to see people that's going to make a difference in the county, but 2, to just also see people who can help, make decisions and answer questions that you all have. So it's very important. So we're going to have a whole bunch of people that are going to come out, that are going to speak to our group, because it's important to me that you all know. We're going to have a tax assessor to come. This is important. There might be questions that you might have about that information. And so when we have guests to come up and speak. So I just want to let you know, thank you for hanging around, for staying. Yes, Tony, you want me to mention that?
I think just a few weeks ago, I drove out driving out my driveway, and my garage door was coming down. It came all the way down 4 inches from the bottom, and then it started going back up again. Fortunately, I always look back to see that it's completely closed. That might have happened to someone else, and so be very, very careful, because there might be just something that might be a little hindrance that stops it and causes it to go back. It may be that just needs some greasing. That's what I've done to mine, and that's rectified the situation. I'm sharing this because I know of one neighbor some time ago who their garage door was left open, maybe because of the same circumstance. Someone came in and cleaned out their whole garage, the whole house. They came in with a truck and cleaned out their whole house. So please be just wary. Don't think because you press the button, it's done, and wait and stop and it goes all the way down.
Just to reiterate for our online viewers, there was just a petition made by the homeowner that check your garage doors, make sure they close it all the way down before you leave off, because there have been some instances where the garage door pops back open. Okay, are there any questions? All hearts and minds, are they clear? This meeting is adjourned. Have a good night.